Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Matt, and this is Reese Football. I look forward to starting the first video on the channel with you guys. Today we got the AFC South Division predictions, and I just look forward to making insightful and entertaining videos for you guys. Um, Here's some content you guys can expect during the preseason and during the season. We got some division predictions where we're gonna predict the teams from first to last, and we're gonna have some playoff predictions as well. And during the season, we will do weekly pick'ems, we'll do straight picks, we'll do spread picks, and we'll talk about college football as well. Um, so my goal with this channel is to create a community where we can discuss and debate football, and I look forward to just talking and giving you guys my predictions, man. Looking forward for this upcoming season. It's been long enough, and let's get started with the AFC South Division. Starting off with the AFC South Division. This is arguably one of the worst divisions in football last year, as they had a combined record of 23 wins and 43 losses, which makes up of a 35% win rate. If you look at the teams, there's a lot of changes going on. A lot of teams drafting quarterbacks, and bringing in a lot more players, losing players as well. Um, you got the Colts. You got their whole drama going on there with Jonathan Taylor and the owner. The Texans, they brought in a lot of new players, and then the Titans, they're looking for the next quarterback, taking to the next level. But if you look at all these teams, there only seems to be one team that is pretty consistent in terms of players in the positions, which is the Jags. They didn't lose a lot of players, but they also didn't bring in a lot of players, which is why I have them winning the division. So here we go. Now this shouldn't be shocking, because I have them winning this division because of two words: Trevor Lawrence. So he is by far the best quarterback in this division, as all the rest of the rest of the three teams are having a quarterback competition there, and possibly might have a rookie starting at quarterback this year. So Trevor Lawrence did take a step up last year, and if he plays at that same level, that'll be good enough to win this division. But I think that he'll actually take a step up. Now, if you look at his passing offense, uh, his weapons did good. With Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, they ranked 10th in the league last year, but they only strengthened the offense by bringing, or not bringing in, but he's coming back from suspension, Calvin Ridley, after being suspended for a year. Um, they also brought back Evan Ingram, and we'll see if he can keep the ball rolling. Um, so they brought in a wide receiver one, and they still have Trevor Lawrence. He had a season under his belt, so more experience. And it seems like Doug Peterson is able to get enough out of his quarterback to play good football. Not to mention they have ETN, who can also be seen as a receiving threat as well, and he's pretty explosive. The only problem I see with this offense is you look at the O-line. They did lose their two starting tackles. Um, Not lose, but one guy went away in free agency, and the other one got suspended. And Jawan Taylor, he left, and then we got Cam Robinson, who got suspended for 4 games. So we'll see how this O-line is able to hold up. Now looking at the other side of the ball, the only issue I see in this defense right now is their passing defense, as they ranked 28th as a team last year, and they didn't do much to change it. It seems like they just have trust in their guys to develop and play better this year, or they might change some schemes up. But to some, this can be a serious issue, as they're in the same conference as Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen. So, and yeah, if you look at the total defense, they ranked 24th last year, but they can be expected to improve, as they're a young defense, led by the former first overall draft pick, Trevon Walker. They seem to rely a lot on turnovers, because they allowed so many yards, but they ranked 6th in creating turnovers. So we'll see if they're able to keep it up. That won't be so reliable. So we'll see how this defense is able to hold up. All right, in second we have the Titans. This team's still the dogs. All right, as they're led by Mike Vrabel, and as long as he's the coach, this team's going to compete. He somehow is able to get the best play possible from his players, and they recently signed D Hop, of free agency, but we'll see what his production is like as his current quarterback situation is under question. There seems to be a quarterback battle ongoing place with Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, and Malik Willis. Um, and by the way, Will Levis he's been going off in training camp, so we'll see what goes on. We'll see. It most likely be Ryan Tannehill starting the season, but we'll see who finishes the season as a starting quarterback. D Hop will certainly help as the weapons before he got signed was looking pretty troubling. As Traylon Burks was going to be the wide receiver one, and most teams will not want him as wide receiver one. And they also have Derrick Henry and those guys as well. And they also invest in the O line. They did draft Peter Skoronski in this year's draft, so that should help Derrick Henry a lot as they need him to stay healthy for the season. He's a core piece of this offense, and with D Hop, this offense should be better. Now looking at the other side of the ball, you got the defense. Most people say this defense is underrated, so they might not be so underrated anymore. But I can see why, because this defense had the best run defense in the whole league last year. They ranked first, only allowing 76 rushing yards per game. Um, but if you look at the secondary, that's the part where it seems to be lacking, as they ranked last in passing defense last year. Um, they did add some pieces to the secondary to help out. They did sign Sean what is it, Murphy the cornerback from the Bucks. But we'll see if he'll be able to help that out. They already have Kevin Byard. As long as I think they're solid for second. And third, we have the dark horse of the division, the Texans. I do believe this team has massively improved. DeMarco Ryan especially. Last year the defense did play pretty alright, but coming from San Francisco, he'll definitely be able to boost up this defense. They did draft C.J. Stroud, and they brought in key pieces to help him out this year. They did bring in Dalton Schultz, Robert Woods, and then John Mechie's going to be coming back. So that's pretty exciting to hear. And just for the run game, they brought in Singletary to strengthen up the run game. They already have Damian Pierce, and all these guys are young. So besides the free agents they brought in, but they should develop. And this is a pretty exciting team. We don't know what to expect from them, so they have the surprise factor there. They might surprise a few people. Because last year they did rank as the worst offense in the NFL, which is like understandable. They were led by Davis Mills, and that team was it's kind of a mess. But they did win some games. But looking at defense, DeMarco Ryan should turn this defense around, as they did draft Will Anderson, and they brought in secondary help. I'm excited to watch Derek Singletary as hopefully he'll be able to stay healthy. And like I said again, it's a young defense, younger offense, so they're going to take some time to develop. But once they do, I wouldn't be surprised if this team goes 500. They might even compete for second division, and they might really surprise people. The only thing that's holding me back from jumping them over the Titans is they did sign the Titans got star power there with D Hop and Derrick Henry. So to win this division, it seems like they really got to focus on the trenches. The trenches in the Texans is kind of questionable, but the O line seems pretty solid. Because all the teams in this division are all going to be run heavy, besides the Jags, who's going to be more pass heavy. But I think they'll definitely compete with a lot of teams this year. And last, we got the Colts. In a season where they struggled offensively, only ranked as the 27th best offense, they drafted AR, Anthony Richardson, and they signed Gardner Minshew. They'll be competing for the starting role, but eventually Anthony Richardson will take over as a starting quarterback, as he is the long-term answer for this team. Now, if you look at the weapons, they're having some drama there with Jonathan Taylor, so he requested a trade. So we'll see if he's even on the team by the start of the season. They have Michael Pittman. They did lose Paris Campbell, but they also have Alec Pierce and Jelani Woods as solid receiving weapons. But besides that, it's kind of lacking. The running back is going to be questionable, as their backup quarterback just broke his arm recently during training camp. So he'll be out for 6 weeks, or it might be the first few weeks of the season. On defense, they lost key defensive players in Gilmore and Okereke. Now, the strength of this defense was their passing defense, as they ranked 11th in the league. Um, but since they lost Gilmore, they did draft a couple of rookies to fill in their shoes. So we'll see how that works out. They might need to take some time to develop as well. But they still have key players in that defense such as Buckner and Leonard. But I don't think they'll be ready to compete this year. There's a lot of changes going on. The coach still has to scheme up the offense for AR. You gotta get his players too. Uh, but for them to compete, they'll need AR to go off and the O line to play solid, and as well as the defense. Just all questionable right now. So it's safe to say they might finish last in this division. Now, if you look at this prediction, I'm pretty solid with the Jags on top. The other three I can see as interchangeable, but which kind of makes this division interesting. I don't see anyone in this division competing for a Super Bowl, but I can see the Titans pushing for a wild card spot, and maybe the Texans. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think the Texans or Colts will be ready yet, as they're still rebuilding and transitioning the team for the new quarterbacks. Well, all right, that's it for the AFC South, and you guys can expect, let's see, the NFC South pretty soon. That'll be the next division. All right, guys, peace.